Hi, I'm Ellie.
I'm Rachel.
We're going to be talking about the stereotypes and salad bowl ideologies seen throughout the movie Legally Blonde. Elle is your stereotypical girly blonde. She wears all pink, she cares about fashion, she acts dumb, and all she seems to care about is her relationship status. Women throughout this movie are placed in two categories, which are mainly based on their appearance or the way they are. Initially in the movie, the two types of women seen are pretty dumb blondes or ugly mean brunettes.
In the movie, a store clerk tries to sell Elle a last season outfit for full price.
The store clerk is quickly put in her place by Elle when she explains that she already knows everything about that piece and it is way out of style.
The store clerk believes that Elle will fulfill the dumb blonde stereotype, but Elle proves her wrong by being smarter than she seems. In the beginning of the movie, when Elle thinks her boyfriend is going to propose, he actually breaks up with her because he wants a Jackie, not a Marilyn. Jackie was classy and ladylike in appearance, and her inner persona was her most attractive asset, whereas Marilyn was an actress and a model and was famous for playing the roles of dumb blondes.
As Warner stated, he wanted someone more classy and smart, not someone too blonde like Elle. After Warner dumps Elle, she is determined to get into Harvard Law School, which is where Warner is attending, to prove to him that she can be the smart, classy girl that he is looking for.
Oh my God! Do you know who this is?
No.
That's Warner's older brother.
Who?
Third-year Yale law student Putnam Bose Huntington III and his fiancée Lane Walker Vanderbilt. First year Yale law. This is the type of girl that Warner wants to marry. This is what I need to become to be serious.
What? Practically deformed?
No. A law student.
Elle submits a video application to Harvard that makes her look dumb, and with the majority of the video being her in a bikini, and gets accepted. This creates a stereotype of attractive people being more successful than their less attractive peers.
In the real world, beautiful people tend to bring in more money for their companies and are therefore seen as more valuable employees and are harder workers, earning an average of 3 to 4% more than people with below average looks. A sample of 737 MBA graduates were tested to see how attractiveness affects salaries.
Results indicated that more attractive men had higher starting salaries and continued to earn more over time.
For women, there was no change for starting salaries, but they continued to earn more later on in the jobs. According to a WCNC article, blondes are given higher salaries and receive more help from people.
The article says in the workplace we see that blondes are given higher salaries, and women who are blonde also tend to get more help from others.
To test this prediction, 2 girls were each given a scarf. One was blonde and the other was brunette. Both girls walked around a public place, dropping the scarf to see if anyone would pick it up.
Almost every time the blonde dropped her scarf, someone would pick it up and hand it to her, whereas for brunettes, people rarely ever picked up the scarf and handed it to her. They would just tell her she dropped something or wouldn't say anything at all. In cartoons and children's programming, we see the way women are portrayed based on their hair color. These associations and stereotypes continue through childhood into adulthood.
The issues of stereotypes occur everywhere and still affect people today. For example, the Loveland High School production of Legally Blonde.
In Cincinnati, Ohio, Loveland High School received serious criticism after showcasing their production of Legally Blonde. Many teachers and parents consider the material offensive and wrong to be shown in a high school, though the purpose of the play was to prove that it is possible to overcome silly stereotypes. Elle is very different from the other students at Harvard. The others are very smart and dedicate their lives to the intense schoolwork and serious extracurricular activities.
This is the part where we go around in a circle and everyone says a little bit about themselves. Let's start with you. My name is David Kidney. I have a master's in Russian literature, a PhD in biochemistry, and for the last 18 months I've been deworming orphans in Somalia.
Hi, I'm Elle Wood, and this is Bridger Wood, and we're both Gemini vegetarians. I have a bachelor's degree in fashion merchandising from CULA, and I was a Zeta Lambda Nu sweetheart, president of my sorority Delta Nu, and last year I was homecoming queen.
Not only did Elle make a bad impression on her peers, but she also made a bad impression on her professors and clearly stood out unprofessionally from the other people at Harvard.
Now, I assume all of you have read pages 1 through 48 and are now well-versed in subject matter jurisdiction. Who can tell us about Gordon versus Steele. Let's call on someone from the Hotzer. Elle Woods.
Oh, actually, I wasn't aware that we had an assignment.
Oh.
Elle was unprepared for the level of difficulty that she would encounter. Everyone else had their computers and completed assignments, while Elle had a pink heart-shaped notebook and a pink fluffy pen and an uncompleted assignment. Elle has different motives behind pursuing her career at Harvard. Other students are there because they are serious in pursuing their career as a law student, whereas Elle just wants her boyfriend back and has no interest in becoming a law student.
Law school?
It's a perfectly respectable place, Daddy.
Honey, you were first runner-up at the Miss Hawaiian Tropics contest. Why are you going to throw that all away?
Going to Harvard is the only way I'm going to get the love of my life back.
Oh, sweetheart, you don't need law school. Law school's for people who are boring and ugly and serious. And you, Button, are none of those things.
Although Elle was very different than the other law students, it happened to be an advantage in the end because she ended up winning the final and most important court case due to her knowledge of hair products.
Had you ever gotten a perm before?
Yes.
How many would you say?
2 a year since I was 12. You do the math.
You know, a girl in my sorority, Tracy Marcinko, got a perm once. We all tried to talk her out of it. Curls weren't a good look for her. She didn't have your bone structure. Oh. But thankfully, that same day, she entered the Beta Delta Pi wet t-shirt contest where she was completely hosed down from head to toe.
Objection. Why is this relevant?
Oh, I have a point, I promise.
Then make it.
Yes. Chutney, why is it that Tracy Marcinko's curls were ruined when she got hosed down?
Because they got wet?
Exactly. Because isn't it the first cardinal rule of perm maintenance that you're forbidden to wet your hair for at least 24 hours after getting a perm at the risk of deactivating the ammonium thioglycolate?
Yes.
And wouldn't somebody who's had, say, 30 perms before in their life be well aware of this rule? And if, in fact, you weren't washing your hair, as I suspect you weren't because your curls are still intact, wouldn't you have heard the gunshot? And if, in fact, you had heard the gunshot, Brooke Wyndham wouldn't have had time to hide the gun before you got downstairs, which would mean that you would have had to have found Mrs. Wyndham with a gun in her hand to make your story plausible. Isn't that right?
She's my age. Did she tell you that? How would you feel if your father married someone who was your age?
You, however, had time to hide the gun, didn't you, Chutney? After you shot your father.
I didn't mean to shoot him. I thought it was you walking through the door.
Order, order. Order.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
In the end, Elle overcame the stereotypes. Everyone was shocked, but she proved them wrong, showing that you can overcome stereotypes, which is the true meaning of the movie.
Movies like Legally Blonde help to reinforce common female stereotypes and female gender stereotypes and expectations to their audiences.